Story 1. I bought a ring sizer on Amazon. It's a little tapered dowel thing with sizes written on it. I had planned to borrow one of her rings to drop it on that to get her size, but I got ahead of myself. She didn't wear any rings on her ring fingers. So I got a piece of string and a printed ring ruler. I waited until she was really asleep and wrapped the string around her finger, measured the length, and boom, got the size. You know what? It was wrong. I got her size by asking because I was so paranoid about getting it wrong. I just asked her, "Hey, if someday we were to get engaged, what kind and size of ring would you like?" We spent a few days ring shopping until I had a pretty good idea of what she wanted and got professional sizing. I also bought her a pretty ring just because she liked it while we were doing so. If I hadn't done this, I would have bought the wrong ring in the wrong size. She wanted something understated when I would have frankly gone for something pretty gaudy. She wanted a different stone than I would have expected. I didn't propose for another 6 months after we did all that. The ring is perfect. She still wears it instead of the wedding ring we bought together because she likes it more. Story 2. Have her put her finger in your butt. After that, you will have to insert things of various sizes until it feels the same. Then, take a string and wrap it around her finger, as someone else suggested. Story 3. I tried to be sneaky. She got a new ring she liked, and it was on her right hand on her ring finger. I said, "Oh, that's pretty. Can I see it?" She gave it to me, and I put it on my pinky. I remembered where on my pinky it went without feeling too tight or loose. Then I had that measured. Perfect fit. After I proposed, she told me she knew what I was doing but didn't want to say anything because she thought it was cute that I thought I was going to pull a fast one on her. Story 4. Don't make the ring a surprise. Let her pick it out. Let the time, place, and manner be the surprise. My wife designed her own wedding ring, so I know she loves it. Imagine picking one out that she doesn't really love but wears because she's being kind. Do you want to be responsible for that? Story 5. Find a ring measure on the floor in a pub or restaurant. Ask your girlfriend what it is. She'll likely know. Either way, try it and say, "Ooh, my ring finger is whatever size." She'll then want to try it too. Story 6. The best way is to borrow one of her rings, if she wears them, that fits her ring finger and measure that. If she does not wear rings, you can try wrapping a piece of string around her finger when she is asleep or distracted. Then measure the string later. Just make sure it is tight enough to be accurate but not too tight to leave a mark. Story 7. Hide Play-Doh in your mouth, then playfully bite her finger. Bake the Play-Doh, then use that to cast a ring. Bring that ring to a jewelry store and have them measure it. Obviously. Story 8. I would vote for making sure she is involved in the process, certainly at least not completely surprised by the proposal. In my opinion, a proposal should come after conversations regarding getting married, what you both want out of the relationship in life, that sort of thing. If she wants the ring itself to be a surprise, nothing wrong with that. But since the fact that a proposal is coming down the line at some point is not a surprise, it is easy enough to manage with her involved. All my opinion, of course, but it is my 2 cents. Story 9. My husband and I were hanging out with some friends we haven't seen in a while, and I got plastered. He said after I got into bed and passed out, he got out the ring sizer he was holding onto for a minute and was able to size my finger. Story 10. Get her to fall in love with someone else, have the new partner get a ring and propose, have her say yes and see if the ring that they got fits. Ask the new partner what size the ring is. Ruin their relationship, rekindle with her, buy a ring the size that the ex-partner did if it fit, or the right size if they got it resized. Story 11. You do not. She's going to wear this for the rest of her life. Go ring shopping with her, let her pick it out, and let her get measured there. Suffice to say, what I would have gotten my wife if left to my own devices is nothing like what she designed. Secretly buying the ring sounds romantic, but it's just one of those things that sounds better in your head than in reality. Once you have it picked out, you can surprise her with the time and place. That said, good luck. Story 12. From personal experience, most jewelry stores will resize rings for free. You just need to ask. Alternatively, propose with something symbolic and let her choose the ring afterward. Story 13. Get her drunk until she passes out. Buy a 3-dimensional printer. Create a duplicate finger on the printer while she's passed out and take it to the jeweler. Sell the printer before she wakes up. Story 14. Serious response. I had the same dilemma. I asked her best friend to help. Just be sure they are a good best friend who can keep a secret. We came up with the following. Her friend and she went shopping at the mall. While there, she was like, "Oh, I've been wanting to get my wedding ring cleaned. Let's go in there and we can try on rings while we wait." Boom. Got her ring size and bonus, her preferred metal. Story 15. As I answered last month when this was last asked, have her stick her ring finger up your butt. Go to the jewelry store and stick the ring sizer up your butt. Stop when it feels the same as your girl's finger. Story 16. I said to her best friends when they were going shopping one day, "Hey, guys, slip into Tiffany's and get her to try on some rings. Find out the size and report back what she wants." I bought the ring a few weeks later with her sister. Story 17. Have her put it in your butt. Then remember the feeling of size and insert different finger-shaped items in your butt that will help you find the size. Story 18. Dude, do not purchase a ring without her input. If she is going to wear it for the rest of her life, let her be involved in picking out the stone and the setting. Go purchase a $20 cubic zirconia ring for when you propose. Then, after she accepts, tell her it is a placeholder because you want her to be entirely happy with her ring. Then go ring shopping together. My experience is that is a lot of fun and a nice way to spend some time together. Story 19. We went looking at rings. I found one I loved but couldn't afford right then. But I wanted to see all the pretty things. They sized me for the future. He went back and bought the ring the next day. He had been saving for it and could afford it. Story 20. Surprising someone by proposing is not a good idea unless you have talked about marriage and are sure she is on the same page. That said, for most average-sized women, their shoe size is the same as their ring finger size. Story 21. I had a boyfriend once who playfully took off all my rings and tried them on. I had zero clue he was measuring to buy me a promise ring. I was 17 and he was still the most romantic guy I ever dated. Story 22. You don't. You ask her for her ring size and shrug while giving a thumbs up. If she tells you her size, then you go buy a ring. Her involvement is optional after that point. A ring should never be a surprise. Story 23. My husband, the boyfriend, and I looked through different rings on websites, and he learned my preferences on material, gems, cut, and so on. Then he went on a few by himself and showed me the ones he thought I would like or dislike. When I had confirmed that he had my preferences correct, he picked the ring out of a few finalists that I had approved. So I didn't know exactly which ring I would get, but I knew that it would be one that I was happy with. Edited to add. I realized I didn't address the actual question. He didn't measure my finger, and I got it resized for free after he proposed. Story 24. I didn't. I bought her a birthstone ring for her birthday, and after I gifted it, we got it sized appropriately. When I proposed several months later, I already had her ring size. Story 25. If you really want it to be a surprise, my boyfriend asked my mom to do it as he lived in Germany and I was in another country. My mom very randomly asked if I could fit one of her rings, as she was surprised it didn't fit her anymore. I looked at her weirdly, but I accepted. Once she said, "Oh, it really fits you. It doesn't fit me anymore." I never suspected a thing. Story 26. Our ring has a sizing kit with a bunch of cheap plastic rings you can buy for $10 prior to buying their real ring. Maybe get that and make a show of how you were thinking about getting one of their wellness tracker rings and get her to try them on too. Story 27. You mess up and it's the wrong size, but you laugh about it fitting on her pinky, and you go to the jeweler together to get it resized. I would know, as she's sitting next to me right now with a properly fitting ring on her finger. Story 28. Until people completely lost their social skills, you would ask one of her friends whom you trust to keep the secret. A likely maid of honor candidate. Story 29. Here's the answer. Make friends with her friends and let them know the plan. Hey, I think I'm ready to propose to her, but I need your help. Watch their ears perk up. I need your help with information for two things. 1. What is her ring size? What type of ring does she want? If they are true friends, they will take it from there. Story 30. It's by no means easy to achieve this, but the only surefire way is to train yourself to be really sensitive to your anal dilation, so that the next time she sticks it up your arse you have a really good sense of what it feels like. The tricky bit, and you'll need some practice for this, is holding the feeling in your head long enough and with enough accuracy so that when you get the counter clerk at the jeweler's to replicate said action with their sizing cones, you will have a good enough recollection to say, "That's it. That's the one." Simple. Don't forget, it has to be her ring finger though. Otherwise, it won't work and you'll look foolish. Story 31. You ask her, "What size is your ring finger?" You have already talked about marriage and have established whether it is something you are both interested in with each other, so it is a reasonable question to ask. Story 32. My wife had an old ring her aunt gave her, which she wore on that finger because it fit. I put it on my finger when she was in the shower, marked my finger with a pen, and left right then for the jewelry store. I just tried sizers until it fit. Story 33. Just ask her a random question, like asking her shoe size. Sure, she'll get the idea of it, but no real confirmation, or do as the other guy said and let her pick and design it. Story 34. In my case, one of her rings broke, and I bravely volunteered to get it fixed for her. But you can probably just borrow a ring for a couple of hours to get it measured. Story 35. My buddy had recently gotten engaged to his fiancée, and during a visit, we made small talk on a road trip and had my wife try on her ring. He gave me an idea. Rings can be resized, but for the best results, you want to be close. So when I finally got a ring and proposed, I had an idea. I also asked random questions in the year or two leading up to it about style and design, so I had an idea of what she liked. Story 36. I bought 4 cheaper rings that all differed in style and color. We were kids, and I told her I got a deal. They weren't anything fancy. One had a ruby, one sapphire, one was green. She wore the blue one the most, but liked the 18-karat gold color. I got a real version of that. 20 years later, we are still married. Story 37. I used a digital ring size tool to figure out my boyfriend's ring size for Christmas. Not a wedding ring. Either way, it was pretty accurate. You can also borrow one of her rings that she wears on a ring finger or desired finger. You can also buy a ring sizing kit online and test it on her while she is sleeping. If you're going for an engagement ring, let her pick or design it. This way, there is no chance of disappointment. Just propose to her and tell her you plan to take her shopping or open a browser to a design your ring site. Story 38. Have you heard that shoe size is the same as ring size? What I actually did was have her friend take her jewelry shopping under the pretense that the ring was for the friend. Story 39. Take her to Target and tell her you are thinking about getting yourself a smart ring. In some, if not all, there is a display that has all the ring sizes on tethers. Find your size. If she does not check what her size is on her own, tell her to. Story 40. Buy her a normal ring for Valentine's, her birthday, or an anniversary first. Tell her in advance you wanted to get her some jewelry and need to know her sizes, and ask if she has preferences. Then you'll know everything you need for later. Story 41. Don't stress, you can always get it resized. What I did was put one of her rings she wears on her ring finger onto my pinky finger and took note of how far I could get it on. Then I got close enough at the jewelry store and went up half a size to be safe. Better to be a little too big, so at least you will be able to get it on her finger in that important moment. They sell little spacers for rings she can use until it gets resized. Just have one handy. Story 42. Measure an existing ring. Or, any jeweler can get pretty close if you just know her height. Do not ask her weight. Rings can be adjusted anyway, just get close. Story 43. Go to Target and head to the electronics department. Have her see what size wearable ring smart device fits. Boom. Done. Ignore the critics. Be surprising and creative. Story 44. Does she already wear rings? If so, you can take one that she has and try to fit it on a tube of lip balm or mascara or something similar to get a measurement. That's top sneaky, but it only works if she already wears a ring on her ring finger. The middle finger is usually a close size though. Story 45. By the way, for anyone reading, Please know that diamonds are hardly worth anything secondhand. Do not buy a mined diamond for the investment value, because it does not have one. Get lab-grown. They are 100% real diamonds, and the only way to guess if a diamond is lab-grown is that it will be flawless. My wife's ring is 100% diamond, bigger than most women's, flawless quality, and a fraction of the price of a blood diamond. Story 46. Jewelry is nice, and family members might give you heirlooms. We should go on a lunch date to get tacos and check out ring sizes, plus we can look at pretty diamonds. Then, real experts know that diamonds are a scam and moissanite is pretty legitimate. Bring this up in conversation casually, saying, "See this 3-carat diamond? I bet you can find a moissanite at about 1/5 the price of that." Before she knows it, you have her ring size and you aren't wasting money on refits, and you get permission to buy moissanite over diamond because you're both smart and thrifty. And don't forget the taco shop. Scout out a good non-chain taqueria that does tableside guacamole or something. You can't go wrong with that.